Are you looking for a deck full of Aetherdrift cards that actually wins? Well, I've got something for you. This is a deck that we found looking through the standard meta that a mythic level player has been winning a bunch with. We're going to check it out. It's called Azorius Artifacts. Let's go. Welcome to the Attic. Manadad here. It's the channel where we explore what's fun in Magic, mostly on Arena. And I just did a Meta Mondays live stream. Check that out if you haven't already, just to see what's winning in Standard in the first week with Aetherdrift. And unfortunately, not a lot of decks with Aetherdrift cards, at least gaining in popularity, that are hitting the charts that we can see. But we did discover this deck, which looks like it was created by a Japanese player. I couldn't read the name of the deck, but it's an Azorius Artifacts deck, and it's chock full of cards from Aetherdrift, and it has probably somewhere between a 60 and 80% win rate. It looks like this version of the deck they had only played 4 games with had an 80% win rate, so we'll check it out. Final Showdown. That's a board wipe. Let's not talk about that. That's a counterspell. Let's move that. Market Back Walker, we're at least playing for 2. So really, it is a slow curve. It is like a control deck. We're running 1 main deck Rest in Peace, which is interesting. 3 Surge Engines. This is an older card. It's from Brothers War. 3/2 Defender. You can pay a blue into it, and it loses the Defender and gains. It can't be blocked. So it just becomes a 3/2 unblockable for 3 mana, which is pretty good. It's also an artifact, which, as you will see, is pretty key, because we have Mendicant Core Guidelight, which is a star 3, star being equal to the number of artifacts you control. Start your engines, and once it hits max speed, you can start copying every artifact spell for just 1 mana, which is a great deal. It's a bargain. No More Lies, just 2 of those. Market Back Walker, this is a weird one. XX casting cost, so it's at least 2. I guess you could play it for 0 if you want it in your graveyard. But when it dies, you're going to draw a card for each +1/+1 counter, and you can start charging it up for 4, which is a lot, but there it is. Maybe try to play it for 4 mana, because we do have Simulacrum Synthesizer. I think this is going to be the main. I haven't even played this deck. Should I have play tested this before recording? Maybe. But stick around to the end, because at the end of all my videos, I record a breakdown of an analysis of the deck that we just played. So stick around for that. Right now, we're just going through it. Simulacrum Synthesizer, 3 mana. It's going to make, once we play an artifact with mana value 3 or greater, it's going to make a colorless construct artifact creature token, which gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control, which includes itself. So it's at least a 2/2, or really a 3/3, because, right, we've got the Synthesizer and we're playing something else. Maybe Perilous Snare. This has been really a bomb in Limited, and I think it's playing pretty well in Standard. 3 mana, Oblivion Ring. Once you hit max speed, you can start putting +1/+1 counters on stuff, but that's just gravy. Just really artifact-based removal that counts for all your things that care about artifacts. For example, Memory Guardian, which is a 3/4 flying affinity for artifacts. It's going to come down usually for a lot cheaper than the 5 mana headline cost. We got 1 Possession Engine, which is a vehicle that's really a control magic. It's weird, but it works. 2 Riptide Gear Hulks. This is the 2/5 Double Strike Prowess. When it enters, for each opponent, put up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. So this is the Teferi Tuck on a Gear Hulk, which is pretty fun. Be fun to copy that with the Waxen Shape Thief. The Shape Thief can also copy the Synthesizer. Once you have 2 synthesizers, and you're playing a bunch of artifacts, it gets ridiculous. Steel Seraph can be played for 3 and becomes a 3/3 flying, giving stuff flying, lifelink, vigilance. So that's going to help keep us alive. Kind of interesting to have this kind of control shell with 3 steps ahead. 3 steps ahead, by the way, can also create a token copy of the Synthesizer. And then just 2 of the Voyage Home, which is draw 3, gain 3 affinity for artifacts. Not using the artifact land. There is an artifact land in Standard right now from MKM, but it is not in this deck. But we are using Fabled Passage, I guess, to go just fetch up some of these things so that our Floodfarm Verges can turn on. And we got 4 of Lonely Arroyos to deal damage with a land, which is interesting, and 2 Meticulous Archives. I might split that differently because we've also got Restless Anchorage. So that's 8 tap lands. Very much just relying on the late game, and only 1 Final Showdown to clean up decks that get ahead. So really interesting build, but I'm not going to argue with the stats on this one. We're just going to play it and find out how it goes. Leave your comments if you feel like you can figure out a better way to build this. There's certainly a lot of different ways to build this deck with these amount of pieces, but maybe in different combinations, different numbers. So anyways, let's see. Maybe this Japanese player got it right. And this is a new. This is going to be a new archetype in Standard going forward. We'll check it out. We'll find out. Let's go. Azorius Artifacts should be good in the upcoming midweek event. Can adapt it. Just only cards. Aetherdrift, since it's already a lot of cards from Aetherdrift. Okay. Well, we got tap land turn 1 for Second Miner. If opponents could stop going first, that would be great. It at least looks like the skeleton deck. We might have a minute and we can destroy all creatures eventually. Well, let's see. Do we want to stop their turn 3 play? Maybe we do. Could be that skeleton enchantment. And they play a Soulstone Sanctuary. Corpses of the Lost. Yep. I think taking 2 damage here is worth getting that exiled. They may very well have more. So the question is, we could play Steel Seraph, or we could just play the Synthesizer and hope that following up with the Steel Seraph next turn is enough. Definitely want to get more lands. That is a tap land. Do they have a second Corpses of the Lost? I think we shall find out soon. Lifecraft Engine. Okay. Somebody's playing some new cards. And another miner. And smacks us for 3, no doubt. Nope. Well, we'll smack you for 1. Maybe these are in there. You know what? I bet these are in here because we have all these max speed things, and they work nicely with the max speed. There, we've got 2 3/3s. Gain lifelink and then do nothing. So that's a 4/4 if they want to crew it up. Looks like they may have removal. We're going to hope to draw land. Also spend 4 mana to create a copy of Simulacrum Synthesizer. Ether Spark. Ooh, cool. I like that we're getting to see some other cards from the new set. Alright, so they get to remove our Steel Seraph. Take 4, but that will remove some. They're going to draw a bunch of cards off that Ether Spark, aren't they? We just wipe the board. They've got 2 cards in hand. The other option is surprising him with 3 steps ahead, but now I've attacked. Play this, make it a 5/4. No, I can't. Need 1 more mana. Alright, let's just wipe the board. Oh no, I don't have enough mana. Okay. We're on to plan B. Planeswalkers really are terrible, terrible design. Like the person who goes first just but definitely shouldn't have attacked. That was a clear punt. I'm gonna cut that down now while they still can. Both synthesizers. I don't want any of these. Guess I can block this guy. Take 2. Still gets the pluses though. I'm going to be able to draw more cards. I just have infinite. Okay, well now we can do instant speed board wipe, so pass the turn. Reading the card explains the mana cost of the card, mana dad. Please power up a Soulstone Sanctuary, that would be the best. They're going to equip the Ether Spark though. Getting greedy. Putting on Tiny Bones. Oh, yeah, okay. And please attack. Our one of fun of Final Showdown. 4 for 1. Lonely Arroyo. What? They scooped! When they're sitting on a thing, they'll let them draw 2 cards? Okay. Not going to complain. Playing Azorius Artifacts. Just the facts, man. We go first. Guess we'll save the Lonely Arroyo, because now we know you can use that for your start your engines. So keep. Do Fabled Passage turn 1. And the planes, I guess. Technically should wait till opponent has done their whole turn, but you know. Doubt our plan's going to change that much. Clay-fired bricks. That could work in this deck too. For 1, and we'll play this pre-combat to pump up Mr. Core. Pass the turn. The thing is, I could easily have a board wipe of some kind. Just Perilous Snare. It's the Mendicant Core, no doubt, yeah. No doubt, no doubt. So, let's just make a 3/2 unblockable. And X equals 1, I guess? do want to be able to play this next turn. Got him down to 16. Martin Cuther King. They have a Memory Guardian. You get a Memory Garden. You get a Memory Garden. No more lies. Is there any way to make more... I think I'm just going to attack all here. They can't block the engine. They block the walker. I get to draw a card, which maybe will be a land. Got to start your engines. Nope, it was a Gear Hulk. Alright. Guardian of my own. Guardian of the Galaxy. Bunch of slinging guardians like they are nothing. Would you like to play one more opponent? That Rose Reliquary taking out our Guardian? Yeah, okay, that's kind of bad. Well, that's kind of stinky. Where's our removal? Oof. Okay. A Simulacrum here. I take 9. I think I got a... I got to draw with this, right? And try and hit that land drop. So I've got to discard something. I guess No More Lies is not as useful, or maybe we don't need one of these synthesizers. Enough white and blue. Doesn't matter what we fetch at the moment. Okay, we're going to take a big hit next turn. We're going to have to rely on Gearhulk to slow them down. But taking 9, then 6. They are at 9. So it's a 3-turn clock on their side. I feel like this needs a lot more removal. Oh, they get the Gear Hulk first. Okay. Oh, we were supposed to No More Lies that. Well, that's a punt.
From the end zone, he punts it. Oh my goodness, this could be the longest punt in Super Bowl history.
I don't think I've been that excited for a punt. What a punt.
Just had all the snares. Yeah, alright. I don't believe we survive that even if we do. Not punt. Alright. Azorius artifacts. Hey, what are the chances Watari is playing a bat deck here? Leave a comment before you jump ahead. Make a guess in the comments. Oh gosh. The old 2-tap land hand. We do have a Final Showdown to eventually catch up, I guess. We keep this. Of course, opponent is going first. Do I ever get to go first? Is there like some kind of block on my account? To exile a card. Three steps ahead. We're going to be trying to play out our cards eventually. Okay, deck. I do need Need some mana. And play the walker for X equals 1. They are going to make us start.
Nobody knows, Dominaria. You won't be outsmarting me.
Showdown. They're down to 1 card in hand. We don't want to put any creatures in the graveyard. Oh, hey. Okay. Of course, we should have gotten planes there. Yeah. That's the turn. I guess we could put the walker in the graveyard because they can't really reanimate it. Well, no, they can spend mana of any types. They can definitely reanimate it. We're down to only creatures in our hand. But I guess if we have to dump one, we're going to dump the walker. That is going to take the Seraph, I guess? Maybe they take the Guardian because I can't cast the Seraph if they're thinking that far ahead. See how clever they are. They don't know we have White Source on top. Alright. Try to get back in this here. We can make a sacrifice one of these creatures. Really don't want to put the Riptide Gearhulk in the graveyard, but maybe I have to.
We all have things we'd rather.
No guarantee we'll draw a land next turn. They actually ditched a bat. And they don't attack, and of course we do draw a land this turn. And we'll do flying. Send it all at Liliana. Do they chump with the bat? They do chump with the bat, okay. Not willing to let Liliana go, no?
You chose the wrong day to cross me.
Hey, and we can cast the Memory Guardian? Oh, that is fantastic. I did not see that. I don't think opponents saw that, but they would not have let that happen. Take that, Mono Black. Still hunting for one where we play first. What do you think? Hey! All right. Just 2 lands, but we'll keep it. 2 tap lands, nonetheless. I am not sure about this mana base. Not at all sure. Rest in peace. Depending on what opponent's playing, this might just... the single main deck Rest in Peace is interesting. Okay, black-white. Hopeless Nightmare. I mean, we don't know if it's useful. I don't know what is going to be useful against them. Guess we'll lose the Rest in Peace. Fabled Passage, let's make sure we get white this time. We can be guaranteed to cast Steel Seraph. Should we be so lucky? This is way too many tap lands. I don't know what kind of meta opponent was building for. It is not the aggro meta that I get to see. Okay, just the S for Pixie. Quality of the consoles. Okay. Scry for some lands. I mean, synthesizer, Seraph. See if it goes through. The pixie shenanigans they're up to. Can we get over the top on Esper Pixie? Are they reading synthesizer? Legend of Death? Haven't you seen this? Yeah, I don't like how they're holding up so much mana. I don't think this deck runs that many counter spells, but it could be. I don't think it really usually runs Authority of the Consuls either, so it could be a little bit of a rogue brew of it. Legend of Death, where are you at? There we go. Not a mana. Okay, well, let's scry for some mana. Counterspell? Entity Tracker, okay. It's fine, it's gonna come in tapped. They're gonna gain a life. There's apparently no mana in my deck. Sheltered by Ghosts. It's taking one of the synthesizers, possibly? Yes. Alright, so this was Esper Enchantments. Nope, but it's got Pixies. It's Esper Pixie Enchantment. And if you bounce the Nightmare, you can't replay it this turn. That's good, okay. Right, okay. Guess we'll give this lifelink. We've given it Vigilance. Lay now. Why not care about the Mendicant? Already the consoles totally stole back the play first of this whole game. 3 steps ahead can clone the synthesizer. Get a big hit in though. And they're going to take out the Seraph. Oof. Okay. We're very far away from the Final Showdown. Is that lethal? Okay, we're at 1. Well, we are most definitely dead. So yeah. Okay. This deck needs like spring-loaded saw blades, something like just need way more interaction. Way more interaction. Okay, well we got lands this time. Of course, opponent is going first. What's their 2-drop? Oh, okay. Alright. Hey, they're slow. Okay. We got a chance. We can break serve here with no more lies. Let me guess. The demon enchantment. The demon room. Everybody's favorite 3-drop. Caleb Bogan. Born in 1935. What do you got?
I do not have time for this. I do not have time for you.
Hey, I called that like 3 minutes ago. Did you really need to take that much time? Don't need that land. We gonna want another one of these? Next turn we Memory Guardian. Or are we just 3 steps ahead? I guess we'll keep it. Yet to play the Golgari matchup. I'm not exactly sure what the key cards are. Okay, they don't do anything. That leaves us open to have 3 steps ahead and maybe make a clone of the synthesizer. Let's just pass the turn. Hopefully they don't play anything we really absolutely must counter. Just gonna fire up the Restless Cottage. That is fine by me. I think they're not overextending into a board wipe, possibly. Which is funny, because we have very few board wipes in this deck. Ooh, a Riptide Gear Hulk. 3 steps ahead. No blocks. We can Memory Guardian. Fortunately, this is a sorcery. And huge army staring at you, opponent. What you gonna do? They might have a board wipe of their own. There's a little problem with that, though. Call it 3 steps ahead. Okay, just basic removal, sure. All I have to do is play an artifact, though, and they're toast. Guess they've got 3 life there, so they're pseudo 17. Possibly not toast. Draw much. A Dread Knight. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Save this for another day. Eat that food, opponent. Snack on that food. You betcha. And I could draw a bunch of cards now. Not worth it. Tuck your Dread Knight and hit you for how much? Lethal. How about lethal? There we go. Okay, well, hard to draw conclusions because we were essentially never on the play. We had like 1 game on the play where opponent just drove over us. It was absolutely bonkers. We actually won 63% on the draw. I think that's a vote of confidence in this deck. Even though it's just a 50% win rate. It needs more... I would take out Final Showdown. You just need more board wipes and cheaper ones. There's too many fast decks that kind of flood the board before you can get your synthesizer thing going. The Surge engines dying to cut down make them pretty bad. So, and then main deck Rest in Peace, like, okay. I don't think the meta's is there yet. Maybe higher up, maybe at Mythic, you do always run a main deck Rest in Peace. Certainly shuts down a certain amount of decks, but then it's just a one of in best of one. So what's the point? Market Back Walker doesn't even trigger Simulacrum Synthesizer. I don't know if that's an arena bug, or what, or if X has to equal 3 and we just never paid 6 mana into this. So yeah, Possession Engine's too expensive. There's a lot of changes I would make to this deck if it was me. Mana base, probably number one change. I don't think the Arroyos are adding a lot with the Mendicant Core. I don't think the Mendicant Core is adding a lot. I would just cut that whole thing. I would have a lot more interaction early on. Maybe like some more removal-based artifacts, like spring-loaded snares, whatever, Sawblade Snare Trap, whatever it's called. The 2 mana, the 1 and a white, deals 5 to an attacking creature or to a tapped creature. That, I think, would do a lot more to get the artifact count up so that when you finally synthesize her, things are happening. I mean, the 3 steps ahead is good. I'm not even sure the No More Lies is that great. A couple of those would be good. But you'd have to have 2 untapped lands on turn 2. And this mana base seems incapable of that. So yeah, way more untapped lands and way more interaction is my pick. I do have a different Simulacrum synthesizer deck that I've been working on that is much better, I think. We'll test it out. I don't know if it's ladder ready. I assume this one was because somebody, used it to rank up to Mythic with, but I guess they obviously weren't on the draw for like 9 out of 10 games. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Is there a way where it tracks on the play, on the draw? Anyway, oh yeah, on draw, 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 on draw. Okay, so we had two on the play. We lost to a blue-white and an Esper that are just out the gate with really strong, and that's the ball game. All right. Well, as you can see, I'm a bit sick. Well, I haven't been making as many videos as I'd like, but hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for joining me in the attic. I've been Mana Dad reminding you, Magic is a game so fun, even dads can enjoy it. Adios.